We have a very busy agenda today, as always, but the most important topic for us on the agenda is the aggression of Russia against Ukraine and how to counter the impact of this aggression. And I will reiterate today the condemnation by Romania of the recent escalation of Russia of the conflict in Ukraine, especially by the missile strikes of last Monday, but also of today in the center of Kyiv and other cities of Ukraine. I was today, in this morning, in close contact with the Romanian embassy in Kyiv. Some of the strikes hit at some close distance of 1.5 kilometers of the headquarters of our embassy, but all personnel is fine. And we are monitoring very carefully the evolution of events. These strikes represent blatant violations of international humanitarian law, which strictly forbids any attack against civilian targets and against civilians. In this context, I will also mention the fact that it is very important for the European Union to support the Republic of Moldova, which is one of the countries most affected by the conflict in Ukraine, by the effects of this conflict. In this context, I will emphasize the need for the European Union to support the government in Chisinau in order to cope with the energy crisis. Romania is doing its part. We are already providing electricity to our neighbor, the Republic of Moldova, in order to deal in a efficient manner with this situation. At the same time, I will reiterate the condemnation by Romania of the fact that last Monday some of the missiles which have struck Ukraine have passed through the airspace of the Republic of Moldova, which represent another violation of international law, especially that we are speaking about a neutral state according to the Constitution of the Republic of Moldova. Also today I will welcome the last package of sanctions which was adopted by the European Union against Russia. I will also welcome the latest tranche for the European Peace Facility in support of Ukraine. And also I will welcome the launch of the EU mission for the training of the Ukrainian army, which is a very important step forward in supporting the defense capacities of Ukraine. Romania is continuing the support for Ukraine. It's a multidimensional support, but I will only mention now the fact that since the beginning of the crisis, through Romania, over 5.2 million tons of grain have passed towards third destinations, which is a very important support for coping with the food crisis at world scale. At the same time, I will emphasize the fact that, in our view, Russia is more and more isolated. The recent resolution of the General Assembly has been passed with a very large majority. Also, the results of the elections of the International Telecommunications Union conference in Bucharest showed that Russia is isolated. At the same time, I would like to say a few words about the EU monitoring mission at the Armenian-Azeri border. It is a very important step forward in order to increase the confidence between the parties. And I would emphasize the fact that this is a proposal which Romania has done during my tour last June, in June 2021, in South Caucasus, together with my colleagues from Austria and Lithuania. We will also discuss today, of course, about the EU-China relations. This is a very important topic, and also about other topics, for instance, Iran. And today I will express Romania's condemnation for the violations of fundamental human rights, such as the freedom of expression and the freedom of assembly. And I would express support for the adoption of restrictive measures against Iran for violations of human rights, but also taking into account the credible information about the delivery of drones to Russia, also in connection with this gesture of Iran to take part in the effort to support Russia. Thank you so much.